Welcome in on episode 97 in the KIPS podcast. My name is Tyler Valencia. I'm the president of KIPS and Time to Train Fitness. I have a rather fun, I'll call it a fun podcast episode that I was scanning through a Facebook group, a fitness instructor Facebook group that I'm a part of. And I was like, man, I really need to do a podcast episode this week, create some content. And what's something that is fun, but also what are people talking about right now? What is something that can help or potentially get some veteran fit pros to chime in on? And this comment pops up. This comment pops up on this page where it says, should or is it okay to date your clients? So that was the question that was proposed. And that's going to be one of the things that we go over in this episode. But I was like, wow. Found it just like that very quickly in less than, I think I was maybe searching for 3 minutes after I got the idea to, let me go check the local, I don't want to say watering hole, but the local Facebook group that includes fitness instructors to see what people are talking about. I came across this one. I was like, okay, let's think of 2 other ones and create an episode about 3 professionalism tips for fitness pros. Now, like I already mentioned, this could be for entry levels, or it'd be great to get some veteran advice from those that have been in the industry, that are doing it every day, that this is their career and things that they've gone through. Because some of these ones, I'm going to give my perspective on it, but there are different viewpoints on this. And I'm not saying, and once we get to them, you'll see that there's no right or wrong answer with some of them, in my opinion. That's my opinion on it. And so that is how this episode was created. And if you do have suggestions or feedback that you want to provide on any of these, make sure you leave them on IG. Go to our KIPS Instagram account. There will be a link in the description. It's KIPS Online, or our Facebook page, and leave a comment on this post there. So hopefully we can get a nice little discussion going. As always, thank you for listening to the KIPS podcast. This podcast is for fit pros, fitness instructors, health and wellness professionals, no matter where you are in this industry, working on it, trying to grow your profession. As always, we appreciate you taking the time to tune in. When you can, take the time to subscribe on our YouTube channel, as you can find these episodes and other free content available on there. Now, let's jump into the first one, and it's the one that I already mentioned. Is it okay to date your clients? Now, I know a few people that have done this in the past. When I used to work in facilities, and I remember the first gym that I worked in, some of this was pretty prevalent. I know instructors, managers that dated members, clients, colleagues, etc. And the first thing that I thought about when I was trying to think of, is it okay? Is that all I could first think of was, oh yeah, I know people that have done that. So word gets around. Even if you don't want it to get around, it gets around. You know everybody's gossip. I think what my wife calls it, everyone knows your soup, or the gossip soup, or whatever. I don't really get the reference from it, but with it, people will find out no matter how quiet you try to keep it. So with that in mind, what is the reputation that you want? Do you want the reputation that you are someone that dates your clients, or you date members or your colleagues, and that's the reputation you want? If it is, and that's a part of your desire, and I think that it can be okay if that's what you want. But on the other end, I would say that professionalism is important. I know that when I was looking and searching for ideas for this podcast episode, there were a lot of angry face emojis or reactions to this comment, and a lot of people, and let me put this out there. This could have been a joke post. I didn't look too much into it when I originally saw it. I actually saw it yesterday, and it was on my feed, and I just quickly glanced at a few comments because I saw the angry face reactions. And then when it sparked the idea for this episode, I didn't again look too much into it because I wouldn't typically respond to something like that. But I would say that keeping a professional reputation is what you want. You want people to know that your service is what you provide, not other items. And I know that something that has always stuck with me was when I started my first business, and it is coincidental. I can't say it's not coincidental, but it was called Time to Train Fitness, and it was an outdoor boot camp. And one of the members, they mentioned to me that, oh, we know that you are about building this business, that you're professional, that you want to run the day to day, or that you do run the day to day for this. That they let me know that they respected how professional I was. And even people that I've trained in the past and worked with, whatever it's in the gym or outside the gym, they know that I'm not going to act in an unprofessional manner. That even if it's something that I don't agree with, I'm not going to give an answer that might be controversial or negative, because that is the reputation that I want to put out there. And so that is how I'm actually going to go through a lot of these is with answering things. Holding back is often what the best approach. And with dating a client, I wouldn't do it because, again, like I mentioned, the reputation, but also it's not part of the persona or the reputation or the personality that I want out there. Because, and this is something that is kind of changed over the last few years with showing who you are more, because people want to see that on social media. Yeah, all that is great, but you could still do it with some with taste, is what I'm trying to say. You can still do it without fully putting yourself out there. You can let people see what you want them to see. And this goes with dating your clients. If you do that, if you go down that road, like I mentioned, people are going to find out. And what's going to then stop you from continuing to do it? So I think keeping a professional outlook or even approach to working with individuals that you might find attractive is the best route. Because if you start it and then all of a sudden you continue to do it, who's to say that your manager finds out and all of a sudden it spirals and all of a sudden you're in that boat where they are considering your termination? And that's not something you want. That's my opinion on that. If you're in the market for adjustable dumbbells or at-home workout equipment, check out Core Home Fitness at the link in the description. From adjustable dumbbells, multi-function benches, and all-in-one options, they got it all. I personally have their adjustable dumbbells and the glute drive that also works as a bench, and would recommend them to anyone building their home gym or looking for easy adjustable options. The dumbbells, they easily adjust from 5 pounds to 50 pounds just by turning the handle and lock in for your safety. Grab yourself a pair and see for yourself how easy they can fit into your fitness program. If you've been a fan of this podcast, you know that before end of each episode, you're going to hear a promotion for the Naboso Duo insoles. I've been using them for probably a year and a half, and I personally think they're game changers. I think everybody should get them, try them out, see what you think. And personally, I've talked about how I used to have foot pain just from sitting at a desk and then trying to be active, trying to go work out, and not really being able to fully maximize it. So I always try to throw it out there for individuals to just try them out, see what you think, utilize them in your day-to-day, and hopefully improve your overall activity level. That's the key right there, activity level. So check them out. There's a link in the description for the Naboso insoles. They have a variety of them to check out, different accessories. Check them all out. See what you think, and hopefully come back and let us know that they've really helped out with your activity level. Let's get back to the episode. Let's move to number 2 here, and that is don't talk politics or religion. Now, I know this is a heated topic. I know this is one that some people are going to disagree with my viewpoint on it, and that is to not talk about it because it can turn people off. But again, like I mentioned before, this is my viewpoint on it. I don't think there is a right or wrong with this one. And I said that in the introduction for this, is that I don't think that if you do want to, that it's going to be something that is going to hurt you in the long run. I think that with this one, as we look at the climate of these two topics, politics and religion, there's a lot of people that are divided on it. And what could happen is if you say something or do something, whether it's in a class or with a client one-on-one, and they disagree with you, well, who's to say that they might look for a different instructor or look for a different class? And that's not something you want. So I remember when I was told this one, it was in my introductory phase of working for a gym when I first started off in the industry, and the quote unquote top trainer was the one that told me this one. And she also told me the next one that I'm going to go over. But not talking these items can potentially allow you to work with a wider base. Now, with both of these, have I heard clients or members in a class talk about these items? Yep, 100%. But the difference is that I do not react. I do not provide my input on them. And with that being said, is it wrong? I don't think so. I think it's more of being able to have that the self-awareness to not react in a way, because I want to have a career in this field. I want to be able to grow my client base. Now, some people might view that as, oh, you're just in it for the money. Well, when you're starting off as a fitness instructor and you're trying to grow your base, if you are turning off a certain population, and I'm not trying to say that one audience turns off the other. I'm just trying to say that if you are shortening your audience, your base, that's potentially going to hurt you. And in my viewpoint, I want to be able to work with everybody. I respect everybody's viewpoints. I respect everybody's preference and all these things. And so I would want to work with them and be able to provide them health and fitness advice, no matter what they believe or what they want to talk about. And so I think you have to decide what's more important to you. Is growing your career, being able to work in this career, more important than sharing your viewpoints on religion or politics? I think that that's up to you. And I'm going to say one more time, just in case somebody got a little heated with my response here, that I don't think that there is a right or wrong. I do know instructors that do share their religion and politics, and they have full careers in this industry, and they've been in this industry for a long time. So like I said, I don't think that there is a right or wrong with that one. Now, the last one, and this one is kind of advice, but I think it's definitely a professionalism one, and it's listen. This is a tip that I think a lot of new instructors could really benefit from, is to listen. And this was a tip that was given to me, like I mentioned, from at the first gym that I worked for was a big chain, and it was a more of an upscale facility. But this instructor told me, listen, take the time to listen and not talk. And with this one, I think it's really paid off later on in life, that working on these skills in terms of listening and hearing people, I think that it's allowed me to be able to communicate, but also to receive different information at different times in my life. And with listening, I think that it has to do with relationships. With being a fitness instructor, a large part of what you're doing to build your client base or your career is you're creating relationships. And that goes with both, whether you're doing one-on-one or you're doing classes, that you're creating relationships. Yes, in a group setting, it might be a little tougher, but that's one of the things that they talk about in educational courses or seminars is what are those tips that you can create your community? And a lot of it is coming early, staying after to talk and listen to your community, hear what they have to say. When you're one-on-one, it's a little bit easier because you're just with that other individual. But in that situation, listen, hear what they have to say, ask questions, and not give your viewpoint on that and spend the rest of the session doing that. One of the things that you quickly realize when you're in this industry is that often you're a therapist. And I'm not going to say you're giving advice on controversial topics or even things that are out of your scope. I'm saying that you're a therapist in terms of you're listening, because sometimes people just need someone to talk to. Sometimes people just want somebody to listen, no matter if they believe in it or if they are going to get any type of feedback on help them. They just want somebody to listen. And I've had several sessions like that. People have opened up and told me things throughout my career that might make me uncomfortable, that did make me uncomfortable because I didn't know how to respond to them, because it's again, like I mentioned, it's out of your scope, but people just want to say something that's on their mind that they've been holding back, and something that is why they're there, that they feel comfortable enough to do that. And creating that type of environment, I think, stems from listening. If you were just going to be in a session and you're just chatting the whole time, talking about your day, your weekend, what you believe, what you think, XYZ, and they're just standing there, probably not going to be that entertaining for them. But if you can get your client or your members to talk, to open up, that is where relationships are built, strong ones that will last for years, even after they stop attending your classes or they stop one-on-one, because you've created that strong relationship. And a tip along this line that I think is a good one, and that opened my eyes to different things, was learn about topics that your clients are interested. I'm going to use the viewpoint of where I was coming from when I heard this, and I've always been interested in sports and movies, but when you work in a gym, sometimes you want the opposite sex to work with. So working and thinking about topics that they might be interested can help you with providing questions. If you don't know anything about cooking, if you don't know anything about sports, if you don't know anything about cars, if you don't know anything about shopping or TV shows that are out of your scope, then maybe learn about them, because that provides you with material to talk with your clients about. That it provides you with a question of, oh, what did you think about this? And you don't have to know the full thing, but just be able to converse with them and learn what they are doing and watching and what their hobbies are. And I think that is a part of being a good instructor, is being able to go outside of your scope, take off the strong ego coat, drop the ego at the door, and be able to talk about something that you might think is beneath you. Because we all know fitness instructors, health coaches, strength coaches, that it's their way or the highway, and that they don't want to do anything that they think is below them. And if you can put that ego aside and be able to open up, or get your clients to open up and talk about things that they are interested in, I think that goes a long way. Now, those are the three things. Professionalism tips for fitness instructors. Like I said, this was a kind of fun episode because of how it was created, things that I would have never thought about creating an episode out of this. But I thought once I saw it, wow, okay, that could be something fun to round out 2023 and go into the new year with. As I mentioned earlier on, if you have any feedback, or if you're a veteran instructor and you have a different perspective, it's all welcome. There's no, you can't, if you disagree with what I said, please feel free. You're not going to be scrutinized, blocked, anything like that. This is a medium to help other fitness instructors or those that are just starting off. I think that the new instructor programs, I don't hear as much about them. I'm not in the field in the gyms anymore, so I don't know which ones are great. But this is material that helps these new entry-level instructors grow their careers, hopefully stay in the industry longer. So let's see if we can get some tips out there for them. Thank you as always for listening. My name is Tyler again, president of KIPS and Time to Train Fitness, and I'll catch you in the next one.